Welcome to the RSP Film Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Today we are going to take a look at some tape of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Now, it doesn't look like it right now because I've got tape of Jared Goff sitting up here with pressure coming up the middle and him showing the poise to take one small step to sidestep the rush coming up the middle, maintain his balance, and throw this ball into tight coverage. It's a beautiful thing, and I showed this a couple of years ago in my RSP Boiler Room on Goff, explaining why he had poise in the pocket, even though people forgot that when they saw him with the Rams with that bad offensive line in his rookie year. This week, again, we're going to look at Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and show you instances of poise and what I think poise looks like in the pocket, as well as where poise is absent from the pocket. Let's begin with Lamar Jackson. We're going to see him at the end of this game in a 28-28 tie against Florida State. And what I want you to note here is not so much the accuracy of the throw, but we're going to go through it one time. We're going to watch him take his short drop, pressure climbs, gets inside, and he throws an accurate pass on 1st and 10. The receiver is able to make the play. Now, accurate is a relative call here because the receiver has to leap up and leap, back downfield to make this catch, and then turn upfield and do a lot of it on his own. So, there's some issues there. We can talk about the accuracy of this throw, but I want you to see really what happens before this throw. You see him drop back. He's looking to his left at a route breaking to the outside. He sees the position of the safety. He sees the position of the flat defender, knows that this is not going to come open. So watch his feet. His feet just are very quiet. They pivot. They don't move a whole lot. He's not taking a lot of space in the pocket, but he's getting in position to throw to the opposite side of the field. So he comes off that first read, and he does an excellent job of maintaining his base so that he can fire the ball, even with a lineman getting pushed into his lap as he delivers it, which is what alters the throw. Now, you'd say he should have created more space for himself. Well, he did. He maximized the space that he had with the pocket closing on him. He didn't move the way they need to. If he moves to the outside, he gives up leverage that these linemen have on the defender coming to the outside. So he stays where he is. He finds his open man. He has a quick setup. He doesn't have to move his feet much. He's moved backwards while he's throwing, and he still has the awareness to place the ball further outside where he's moved so that if the receiver misses the throw, there's a greater chance that no one else is going to be able to get it. So this is a really aware, technically sound play from a player that a lot of people say is kind of raw when it comes to his quarterbacking. But I don't see a lot of quarterbacks in college football show feet as quiet as Lamar Jackson. And to be able to maintain a throwing base like this and have the smarts to come off a first read with pressure coming into his lap during his second read and still throw the ball in a placement that only benefits the receiver. This is an excellent play late in the game. And this isn't the only play where Jackson has demonstrated this poise. We're going to watch him again earlier in the fourth quarter on the same drive. You're going to watch him look to his right, not see the play come open, so he brings the ball back down, but pressure's coming into his face here, but he's still in the pocket in a pretty poised manner and comes back out. I mean, his movements aren't sudden until the defense is so close that it's time for him to make a move. But you can see he's not rushing his throw because there's a defender getting a push on his own lineman into his lap. A lot of quarterbacks will overreact to this much earlier. They'll rush the throw if they're a pocket passer. They'll try and hurry that and fit it in there because they know that their time in the pocket's ending, or they will break too early. He knows his own athletic ability. He's able to slide outside, and look that when he does, while the ball's a little loose here and he needs to shore that up, he's looking downfield. He turns his body, gets his shoulder square to his target, his foot, his toe and his knee and his hip are square enough to the target that he throws his ball to his receiver sliding inside of the flat defender. And the placement here is fantastic. Again, he's spinning out of pressure, and he's able to throw this ball in a manner where the receiver's the only one who's going to be able to get it. He throws it so he forces the receiver to turn back inside so that his back's going to be to this flat defender outside the hash, so that he takes a hit to the back but catches the ball, and it's low and away where no one else is going to be able to get it. This is a very poised play with 1:20 left in the game. Working outside your pocket, moving to your left. This isn't just improvisational, great athletic ability. This is awareness. This is accuracy. This is understanding where the defense is. This is seeing and processing all of this very fast and having the poise to wait to the last minute to see if the throw is going to come open and know that you have the ability to escape the pocket at the last moment here, but not just to run. Fantastic play. Now let's take a look at Josh Allen. This is probably the best play of the game for Allen, and it shows some level of poise. But when you look at the body of work that he shows in this game against Iowa, I would say that it's almost indicative of some of the flaws that he also shows too. You're going to see the pressure come off the right side, and he does a very good job of reducing the shoulder, running up the pocket, climbing it on the run, and throwing the ball deep on the post to a wide open receiver who finally catches it for a touchdown. Somehow they call this a touchdown. We're going to see here. Somehow they call that. But I will say this, regardless of whether it is or it isn't, it's a nice display here for him to avoid the defender and climb upfield. So I like what he does here very much. It's an excellent play. But it's also indicative of what he does with every play, which is he's kind of frenetic with his movements and his decisions. He relies on his arm a good bit. He's more about running than really maintaining good controlled pace. He's a little bit more reactionary. In this case, climbing the pocket and throwing, that's a good reaction. But it also can have a darker side, and we're going to watch that in a moment here. Here's Allen earlier in the game. We're going to watch him take his drop. He's looking to the outside receiver up the sideline. There's a second safety up in that right flat. He's going to look to that, see that it's not there, so that he's going to come back to the middle to see if this crossing route's going to break open. If you ask me, based on the defender's position and where the receiver is, this is a good bet for him to throw the ball on the crossing route. And he has plenty of room up the middle to be able to stay in the pocket and complete this pass, especially with the linebacker 41 vacating this hash to the outside flat to handle this running back on the outlet. If he just climbs a step, keeps his feet quiet, and doesn't take too much of a movement, he can be a slower reactor, a lot like what Jackson does with smaller steps. He would be able to deliver this ball. But he sees the pressure. His eyes drop to this pressure coming up the middle, and he vacates that pocket quickly. And when he does, instead of throwing a 14, who's now working outside 43 and going to get into that flat, he again is looking to that deep throw, though there's a safety over top. And it's just a bad move. I mean, look at the safety cut that off. Here's the deep safety. He's going to drop back. You're going to have the receiver work up the sideline. We're going to see his number 14 work the cross against the linebacker. This linebacker at the right hash is going to drop, but then vacate to the flat to handle the running back. Allen looks right, sees that that's going to be covered for the moment, comes back, and he doesn't give this enough of a chance. He should look at the position of the defender with that chest to the outside and know that this should break open. But that pressure, he sees that, and he should have been a little bit more patient for it. He could have been patient for either the dump off or this one over the middle, and really it's over the middle that was breaking clean. And if he threw it there, also the defenders could have been holding and could have been called for a flag there. So there are a lot of things pre-snap just by the tell of the positioning of this linebacker that he should have read, but he came off that too quick because he saw the pressure and didn't have the poise to stay in there one more beat. Yeah, he's going to take a hit to throw this ball, but he's also going to get the first down and have the most accurate opportunity. He doesn't take it, and he nearly throws an interception early in this game. And you say, well, whatever, it's as good as a punt. Really? It's as good as a punt? Not really. This is a ball thrown from, they're at the 34 of their own line of scrimmage, And so you want to give Iowa the ball at the 42 of their own side of the field? I don't think so. That's not how I'd want to start the game, with a punt. So yeah, this is not a poised play. This is a reactionary effort, trying to lean too much on athletic ability rather than smarts. This is another play that I think is very interesting and says a lot about Allen's pre-snap, post-snap reading of the field and how he can react to pressure as a result too. And he doesn't stick with reads that he should. This is a 1x3 receiver set. Now I want you to focus on the middle trips receiver. This is kind of a tight end size player with a linebacker on him. Linebacker's playing inside shade. You have a deep safety on that right side. So what you're looking at here is single coverage, and he knows that this receiver in the middle trips is going to break outside while he has this outside receiver running a clear out or a deeper pattern. It's going to clear out this flat. It's 3rd and 10. You are in a tie game, scoreless, and you are inside the 27 of your opponent. This is field goal range. You can, if you get a few more yards, you get field goal range, and even if you don't get the first down, you can take the lead here. You can set the tone pretty well for your offense. Instead, we're going to watch Allen. He's going to slide from the pocket. You're going to see some impressive physical ability, breaking through a wrap of a defender, working outside, stumbling through, trying to break another defender, and then he gets wrapped up by 4 guys and he's sacked. Well, physically, people will say, well, that's impressive that he can shake a defensive end and a defensive tackle and then reverse his field and buy time. And with that big arm, he's going to make big plays. Yeah, okay, that's going to happen sometimes. But in between those small instances where it does happen, he should have hit this middle trips receiver. Because watch this, 1, 2, 3. See how his head turned back off here? He turned away from this route. We're going to show it again in a minute. But this is a shallow route that's breaking open. Look at the position of this defender. He's inside all the way. There's an open flat because this outside receiver, you can see, is working upfield. He has this. Throw the ball. Step up, hitch, throw the ball. And this receiver is going to, if you throw it to him in stride, he's going to be able to continue outside and maybe have a shot at the first down. And if not, you've gained 4 to 6 yards, get better field goal position for your kicker. Instead, you felt the pressure from that outside, you reacted too soon to it, you came off the read, and now this whole comedy of errors ensues where, physically it's impressive and, you get some magical thinking from some evaluators who are like, well, look what he could possibly do. Well, that's true. He could. But let's play the odds here and talk about just finding the easy plays, because the best quarterbacks find the easy plays. This was an easy play. Watch. 1 step. At this point of 1 step, he's looking to the outside here. He should have seen pre-snap this position. Off coverage, inside shade. Let me take a 2nd step. Oh, look, he's still further off, inside shade. I've got pressure coming off this side. If I just climb. 3rd step. Climb. Just hitch. Just hitch and throw to that outside, and it's there. Nope. Turns away and looks for the escape hatch. This is where he's looking all the way. He's not looking for this route. He's looking to escape. You can see how he's turning his body immediately to look for that escape. His best escape would have been climbing the pocket straight forward based on the leverage of this defender. But he wasn't patient enough for that. He saw an instance of pressure, and it was time to hit the eject button. And while he's tough and strong and quick enough, this isn't helpful. In fact, you've lost yards on 3rd and 10. You've lost 6 yards and put your team probably out of field goal range. No, I'm not making a direct comparison to Lamar Jackson from the last play with Josh Allen in this particular one, but there are some things that you can compare. One is that you can see how much calmer Jackson is with his reads and process. He drops back. He's looking from left flat to right flat or right seam. Doesn't see anything there. He feels the pressure coming up from the outside, and there's backside pressure also coming here. But he's not phased. He doesn't eject out the back door or out the front door here. He looks further downfield, then tries to look upfield to see if there's anything more there. Nothing there that he feels confident about. But his feet are in a good position. He's he's in a throwing position that he can deliver this ball from a good platform, and he's scanning the field before he decides, you know what, it's time to run. And he decides that because he sees the depth of what's going on behind here. I don't have to look at this to tell you that. You see the two safeties back here. You see that the outside receiver is running a deeper route. This flat defender is the only one here. So when he makes his play, you know, he goes from left to right during his drop. He has a flat defender, but he can also see that the flat defender is working out towards the running back here. So I'm not going there. He brings the ball back. Turns back to the outside. He sees how deep, where the deep coverage is, and realizes he just has a flat defender here that he has to beat. If he beats this man, he's got a big area wide open on the left side of the field. So it's at this point he decides to take off. Now, this is where there's, you know, to me, this is poise compared to what Josh Allen just did. Now, what Josh Allen can't do, and it would be unfair to compare, is what Lamar Jackson does here, which is presses the outside, forces the defender to lean outside to take on this flat, and then cut back inside. This is a great press and cut. And then his speed just takes over. He beats the pursuit, comes down the line. You see a nice little dip inside here, spinning through a wrap, and he gets a huge gain off of this. But it all stems from the fact that he's not trying to break it too early. He's not trying to run too early. He's trying to throw first. And when you try to throw first, you let your routes develop downfield. And with nothing comes open, instead of trying to force it, now he understands his skill set where he can say, all right, now I can leave the pocket and I have a one-on-one. Instead of having, you know, breaking it earlier and having more defenders to contend with, he just has one to contend with, and it's over. And sometimes results that aren't very strong, the process is strong enough that it's really worthwhile to discuss. And we're going to watch this here on this 1st and 10 with 8:15 in the half. 2-by-2 receiver set, two safeties deep. Watch him look up the left side on the twin side to start with. He sees that the defenders have overtop shade and that where these routes are going to break inside, nothing's going to come open there. So he goes back to the middle. He doesn't like the position here because he's got the official in the break path of his receiver. So when he goes to throw the ball and realizes that the official's in the way, he brings the ball back down. But watch his feet. Now, his feet could be a little wider. You know, I mean, that's something that quarterback coaches would often say, his feet are a little narrow here. And that's true. That's something he's going to have to work on. But I love how poised he is that he doesn't move much in the pocket. He's got a lineman getting pushed back towards him a little bit. He's been in the pocket a little bit of time. He turns and looks to see where the pressure is, and then comes back to look downfield. Now, you would say, oh, his eyes drop from pressure. Well, he's already looked at 3 reads. He's already looked at 3 reads and pump faked the ball. Now he's thinking, where's the pressure? I don't feel it. I don't see it. Let me look real quick for an escape hatch. It's not really there. Let me come back downfield. Now I'm going to try and fire the ball deep with pressure coming. Now he rushes that throw a bit, but he rushes the throw in a space where he knows no one's going to be other than the receiver. He just lofts it and overthrows it. So it could have been a better throw. But considering he went through 3 reads, comes back to a read after that, after looking to see where the pressure is, and he's not overreacting. He's just standing there in the pocket, calm as can be. Very poised. Look at those feet. Little movements, just incremental movements trying to maintain throwing position. Is this the poise of a raw quarterback? Now, there are some things that he needs to work on. And there are going to be some techniques he's a little raw at, needs to be refined with. But this is a quarterback. This is a guy who truly understands how to hang in the pocket and buy time and maintain a good throwing position. And this is a guy who can break it easily, make people miss, who can outrun cornerbacks and safeties. And he's doing this. And he does it on a regular basis. Let's watch it again. I mean, here's it is close. Look at those feet. Just look how incremental the steps are on his toes. That's fantastic. That's not something that a lot of quarterbacks do. Even and especially at the college level. Jared Goff did it. And then a lot of people wanted to pan him early because he had a bad team around him. In contrast, here's Josh Allen on a 3rd and 5. Game's still, very mumuch in play. You're down 18, 4-11 in the third quarter, but you still have time. You have a 2 tight end set. You're going to watch one of those tight ends kind of come up here as if he's pass protecting, and Allen looks to his right side, sees that the coverage is going to handle these 2 twin receivers pretty easily, so he comes off that and looks to his left. He's got a wide open man here. Now there's inside pressure. Now with this wide open man, he just needs to adjust and throw the ball and not rush his process. Just hit the ball, hit the man inside. He's got a defender over top here. Instead, that pressure gets close and he just rushes this throw. And he sails it, and it's nearly intercepted here. And they're deep in their own territory. I mean, their own 17. You got to take your time here. Take the sack rather than throw a ball like this. And it is totally rushed. You can see that he's just completely reacting to that interior pressure. And it's way too high. Slide a step. If you're feeling that pressure, slide a step. Or just step into it. Deal with it. If you're going to make that throw, make it count. Here's another play where Allen just has to be savvier about how he reads the field. You're going to watch this I formation set. He's going to give a nice play fake. And he's going to dump it off, and the defender is going to make this tackle behind the line of scrimmage. So what's bad about this play? Nothing came open? Well, not really. Here's the problem. This too is also pressure related. You're going to watch him drop back. Good extension of the ball here. I really like the play fake. The fact that he plays under center is going to appeal to people. But here's a flat defender. He's playing that shallow flat, and he's going to cover this outside man. But first, he's going to stay here long enough so that it forces Allen to come off this read. But see, Allen's already looking at the route swinging out to the right flat. He's already staring this down beforehand instead of staring the deeper route. He's not holding off this flat defender at all. Doesn't give any recourse to, and the flat defender knows it. He comes working upfield because he sees Allen looking here from earlier in the play. Let's see if we can see it right here. Watch him staring at Allen. He's looking at Allen. He sees Allen looking there from the get-go. So he's like, okay, I'm going to turn and work off this man and come downhill. That Allen does nothing to hold off this linebacker. So as a result, when Allen decides not to throw it here, he looks further downfield. Well, the defender, the receiver working up the seam is covered by the safety. So when that doesn't work, he goes back to this flat defender, or to this flat, and throws that flat, and it's nailed. I mean, he tips this off from the get-go, and when he feels that pressure, he rushes it. See how his feet are even off kilter because as soon he throws it in a hurry. Why is he hurrying? Because he feels the push to the outside. It's not even remotely there, but he decides to rush his feet and throw this ball. And part of it may not even be the rush. To give some credit, that may not be him perceiving this pressure. It may just be that he knows that he already tipped off the linebacker and he's in a race and he tries to squeeze this in. Just throw the ball away. Or better yet, don't stare down your first read before you even finished with your exchange and tip off the flat defender. Again, this is not poised play. You're not disguising your looks, and you're rushing your process somewhat due to pressure and due to what mistake you incurred earlier on. Allen is an impulsive player. He's got a great arm. He can move. He can make some really nice opposite hash throws with power. You can see instances where things look good, where he climbed the pocket earlier and threw the post for what looked like a possible touchdown, But at the same time, the pattern exists that he tends to react fast to negative stimuli, and that creates more problems. He drops back here. He sees he's looking for his 2 receivers. He feels the pressure coming to the inside and immediately turns outside and delivers an interception here. And this guy, number 15, is one of the best cornerbacks that you're going to find in college football. And Allen should know this from the beginning of the play. And we're going to watch it here. You've got A little bit of off-man coverage, 2 yards off, inside shade. This is single coverage. When you drop back here and you start looking, if you feel pressure, it's probably not a good idea here to try and throw comeback route with the defender with inside shade with his recoverability. Instead, he feels that inside pressure, and instead of sliding or climbing or waiting or maybe looking elsewhere, he just tries to make a jump pass, moving to his right late. Throw this ball away. He's not trying to throw this ball away. He's trying to hit his man. He thinks he's got the gun to do it. Nope, you don't. And you're not going to have it in the NFL if you try and make decisions like that. This is a reckless, impulsive decision. His feet are out of control. He's reacting to the inside pressure and trying to make a play. Don't try and make a play. You've still got 11:45 left on a 3rd and 4, and you're only down by 18. Don't make it worse. Throw the ball away. Maybe your defense can stop Iowa, and you can get more opportunities. In contrast, let's look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson here looking to his up the seam here on, they're down by, 11 in this game late in the 3rd quarter. He looks up the field, sees the coverage is too good because his defender's working inside here, or his receiver's working inside. Doesn't see an open lane that he can really fit this ball into. He's still looking to see if he can at this point, and maybe could have thrown it a little bit earlier here. But that doesn't happen and he's poised with where his climb was and realizes now he's got to work outside. But I like the fact that even though maybe he could have done a better job of seeing this coverage, rather than forcing a throw, he holds onto the ball, spins out, and is able to get the first down. Now, this is a skill that Josh Allen doesn't have to the level that Lamar Jackson does. But it doesn't mean that Allen could be more controlled about when and when not to throw the ball and not to take certain risks, and understand that you still have time left. Being down by 18 and being down by 11 is still being down enough that, you look at the amount of time left that you understand that you don't have to push too hard. And we see Jackson stand in against pressure. Here it is, 1:43 left. They're down by 14 in this game. Watch him drop back. He looks up the seam. He's showing patience to kind of slide to the inside from that pressure. But interior pressure's coming, and he knows it is, and he still slides towards it because he's trying to give that outside route room to break. He knows it's going to break open, and he's patient with it, and he's willing to deal with the pressure inside to throw this ball. And he still does. It's a little off balance. He does take a hit to his side here, but he gets this throw off. So he gives his receiver time to work inside, then back out. And a lot of it's just with a small slide. He doesn't slide too deep, and that buys him time, because if he took huge steps towards the middle of this pocket, he's going to really accelerate the pressure that's coming up the middle. But he doesn't accelerate it because he takes those small steps. And it gives him just enough room to fire this ball. And it's a throw that's off balance. It's still one where it's only going to go to the sideline. And he's able to make that type of a jump pass. So this is a much different type of play, where even though his feet are not as in control as what they were in other situations, the decision is conscious. It's not a reactionary decision. It's more of a okay, let me calculate it and get my steps upfield a little bit more, still have enough time that now I can actually deliver the ball with a throwing motion that is more complete, even with pressure coming, because I only took those small steps. And you get a complete pass and a first down that's very necessary across midfield and gets them into at least some level of scoring range. So when I look at players like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and any other quarterback, I'm seeking poise. Poise is an integration of a number of different factors. I mean, even this play right here is a good example of that. 2 defenders coming, takes one little side step outside, still stays in position, sees the outside leverage of the defender, knows this is going to break open because he knows what this route is, steps up and fires with the defender in his face and actually getting wrapped, and it's too high. But it's only where the receiver is going to get a chance at the ball. Again, smart play, integrating a number of different things in a fast level. This is the difference between guys who often do well in the NFL when they get a good support staff around them, and guys who may be good athletes or maybe have some sort of level of talent on the skill end of playing the position, but don't have the mental processing, the emotional maturity to really be a top-end quarterback in the NFL. Now, we'll see if Josh Allen develops some of that, but Lamar Jackson has it. It's just a matter of whether he finds a good fit with a team that can allow him to continue to develop it without him taking too much punishment or potential being suppressed in a certain way where he's put in an offense where maybe his skills aren't allowed to bloom. But if they are, you see a player who definitely has the potential to be a very good NFL starter in this league. Josh Allen, I think the jury's still out for me, and a lot of it has to do with poise in the pocket. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room, and my blog, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.